Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for the memorial for Steve Anderson. We just wanted to say a quick, thank you so much for all of your thoughts, your prayers, your kind words. They have meant so much to us, and we hope that even though we know everyone can't be here tonight, we just wanted to put this together to give you a little bit of an opportunity to see everything. So thank you very much. We love you all. We miss you all. And we hope we can talk to you all soon. So thank you.
Thanks.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Gerald Beecham. I was here at the museum for almost 7 years. And Aaron was the curator when I was the director, and then she became the director. And we have remained very close. Our families have gotten to know each other. And she called, texted right after Steve's passing and asked if I was willing to travel and do this. What she didn't know at that time was Steve and I had a conversation some years back, and I said, "You're so ornery, we're going to have to rent pallbearers at your funeral." And he said, "I'm going to have to find a preacher." That's not me. All right.
Maria.
He told me, he said he was going to have to rent a preacher, and I volunteered.
There you go.
Little did I know, but I'm thrilled to be here. And one of the things that I knew about Steve, and there's a lot of formality here we're going to take care of in just a second, was that he had a love of theater. He had a love of the drama and the classes. And when he passed last week, of course, the decision was made to cremate. And Steve is still in Texas. So keeping in the spirit of the show must go on. The role of Steve Anderson. Will be played tonight by this arm.
Keith Steve gets it. Yeah, Keith Steve.
The theater people will understand that the show has to go on, and Steve couldn't be here in person, so the role they earn is playing a role. And Dr. McCleary, I'm not going to wear that while I try to talk. The governor can come get me. Thank you for coming tonight and joining us to remember Steve Anderson. And while this is an incredibly sad time, we want this to be a celebration of his life. We want this to be a time of happy remembrances. And for many of us in the room, there are lots of happy memories of our good friend Steve. It's fitting that we're meeting here in the museum because for the 10 years I've been involved with the Western Heritage Museum and the Lee County Cowboy Hall of Fame, Steve Anderson's been involved in it. Because Aaron was already here, and I inherited Steve and Keith. And I remember his first meeting was take care of my girl. And it was one of those, yeah, I got you, Dad. We're on the same page. And so for me to be able to be up here tonight is really quite an honor. But Steve was here a lot in the last 2 years since moving to Hobbs, New Mexico, since he retired. And he was here not as an artifact, but as a volunteer. I'm sure he did. He helped with events, he set up exhibits, helped secure exhibits, general maintenance, and did so much more. Even tonight, as you look around, he helped set up every tree you see tonight in preparation for decoration. He even did additional candy cans. He helped set up a lot of what you're dealing with here. He probably logged more than 120 hours in the last couple of months getting ready for Christmas here at the museum. So we felt it was appropriate that this little remembrance take place here tonight. He would help take out inventory, repair the village. He helped box things, organize things. Steve loved the Christmas season. He felt Christmas music was too beautiful, that it should only be played for about 45 to 60 days a year, so he played it year-round. I don't know how many times I'd get in his car and Christmas music would play. Really, dude? It's March. I love Christmas music. And I thought that was, so appropriate. So I think Steve would approve of the fact that we're here tonight in a Christmas and festive environment. And we want to be a part of that. He felt Christmas was was a very special and spirited time of the year, and the spirit of Christmas was echoed in his life through patience, kindness, family, and giving. We felt like tonight would be best if we bring a little reverence to the moment with my lovely friend Kim Planch, who's here to offer a blessing tonight. Deep breaths.
Steve and Candy adopted me and their family whenever I met them back in 2016. And I'm so glad they did. And you can tell a lot about a person based on their character and how everyone remembers them and the stories they're told while they're here and after they're gone. And the memories are shared completely. This past week, I sat and listened, and I listened to stories shared by people who knew Steve and would come and help out during our wonderful Christmas traditions. And I sat and I read every single Facebook comment that all of y'all had posted on Aaron's post and on Lucy's post. I sat and read all of those. And I listened to people just talk this past Saturday about how amazing of a man he was. I searched my memories from the past. How long have I been here? 5 years? 5 years. And I couldn't find a Bible verse more fitting for Steve than the one I'm about to read to you. It's short and it's to the point, but I believe it fits Steve Anderson and our memories of this man and all that we have shared with him and all we're going to share with the family. 1 Corinthians 6:14 states, "Do everything in love," but other versions of the Bible also state that let all things you do be done in love, and let everything you do be done in love, which is motivated and inspired by the love shown to us. Whether Stephen Anderson, or Dad, or Steve, or Aaron's dad, however you knew Dad, because to a lot of us, he is Dad. How you knew him, whether he knew it or not, he lived this Bible verse, he loved his friends, and he loved his family. Extended family also. And if he didn't, I'm sure Miss Candy and him adopted many of us here, or if he didn't love us also, he wouldn't have adopted us here. I'm pretty sure almost everyone in this room, minus staff, was adopted by Steve and Candy. And whether Steve was working on a musical, working here at the museum, was working at Harmony, he did things out of love. He may not have loved what he was doing at the time, but he loved the people he was around. And he may not enjoy the company that was with him while he was doing something, but he was enjoying what he did. And my last couple of statements to you is that Steve loved. And to honor his memories, I challenge all of us to love as Steve loved. I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom.
Stephen Kenneth Anderson was born on June 6, 1953 in Minnesota. He passed away Sunday, November 7th, 2021 from heart failure at the age of 68 in Lubbock, Texas. The second of 4 children, Steve grew up in Harvey, Illinois, and aspired to play baseball professionally. On a personal note, baseball was one of my passions. I can't begin to tell you how many conversations we had about playing baseball and what it did for people. He eventually became an electrician instead of a professional baseball pitcher, working in the steel mills around Chicagoland. He is survived by Candy, who he met as a blind date set up by his sister Lynn. He proposed to Candy after a week of dating. And they were married within a year and would have celebrated 47 years of marriage at the end of this month. Steve is also survived by 2 biological children, Eric and Aaron, though he is known as Dad or Grandpa to scores more. He played softball for a number of years. We called it the old guys' leagues. And he said he showed his team that pitchers really could hit even if it was with a pink bath. Steve was extremely involved with his kids' lives, whether that was a field trip, chauffeur, softball or basketball coach, attending every performance, caroling at the hospital where Candy worked, or holding the door to her grade school every single morning. Since moving to Hobbs 2 years ago, after retiring, he joined the community players of Hobbs as both a volunteer and an actor. He sang with the award-winning group, the Accidental Harmony, and volunteered here at the Western Heritage Museum and Lee County Cowboy Hall of Fame. An avid reader, Steve enjoyed finding new worlds in science fiction, fantasy books, but his real joy became planning trips and introducing people to Walt Disney World. If you hadn't figured that out yet. Where he encouraged many to travel and experience something new. And again, a side note, we had talked many times about the trip we were all going to take, the Andersons and the Beechams. And one of their regrets, we never got around to doing it. But maybe it's not, that opportunity's not over yet. Stephen Anderson led a life that was touched by many, and he touched many. And his legacy continues in our lives and everyone he met. From the kindness he showed to his quick wit, to embracing an opportunity to impart his wisdom, to always lending a hand and believing in an individual's potential, he was an inspiration and will be sorely missed. Though he is departed, we find peace knowing that he's waiting for us with an embrace and a welcome home. And in a moment, we're going to invite people to come up if you have a memory of Steve that you'd like to share. And so we're going to give you an opportunity to do that. This is your warning, by the way. So it's not an awkward moment. Get ready. But this next part of this is we'd like to invite you to share fun memories you have of Steve. And to get started, I've got some letters I want to read from people who could not be here from around the world, who couldn't be here tonight. I understand we're also live on Facebook. So hi, Facebook folks. Glad you could join us. And it says here in bright green, and Daryl, it's okay if you share any personal thoughts on Steve. Well, I've already started doing that, but probably my favorite was one of the first times I met him at this event, the Christmas event that we hosted. They had what do you call it, Mary? A booth? A table back there in the back where like all of the different people would serve different foods. And Steve and Candy were serving sausages. Bratwurst. And I knew I was going to like Steve Anderson when I walked up to him and was just checking on tables, and he put something in my pocket jacket. I think this jacket. And I reached down, and it's an aluminum foil pocket. And I said, aluminum foil pocket? About that time, he slipped a bratwurst into my pocket. Because he knew it was against the rules for me to take an entire bratwurst. He put an entire bratwurst in my pocket. So throughout the night, people see me reaching into my pocket. And violating and breaking the rules. But I'm going to like this guy. He knows the rules, and yet, we're okay with it. But some memories from some people who were not able to be here tonight. Ken and Debbie Prime, friends from Illinois, and they write, I'm going to read these like they're written here. We met Candy and Steve at Christian Hill School as parents of children in 2nd grade. That's been a number of years back. We remember that every September the kids would measure their height with each other to see if they grew over the summer, and the parents would chuckle as the kids grew. Conversations in the parking lot waiting for the kids to come out of school. Soon the kids got older and there was madrigal dinners and Christmas caroling. Steve shared his gift of song during our Christmas caroling adventures, usually singing at Ingalls Hospital for the patients, then singing some more for the restaurant while we waited for supper. The dinners at the Teebles and pizza nights at Beggar's Pizza were good times and good conversations. Steve's common sense and kindness shone through our times together. Although we were miles apart, we joined him, our friends, as we remember Steve. And we will always be a special part of our memories. Our prayers are with you all. April Prime, adopted child from Illinois, wrote, my first memory of Dad is at Christian Hill 2nd grade. He and Mom would hold the door for their kids every morning, always with a smile or another fun greeting. I can't begin to list all the memories of Dad over the years. Dinners at Beggar's Pizza, caroling at the hospital, spending time just Disney. Most of all, Disney. So many Disney memories. Dad's sense of fun was always enhanced on a Disney adventure. He was our planner, making sure dinner reservations were made, etc. One of my favorite memories was when Aaron and Dad went swimming during a lightning storm. One of my favorite memories was when Aaron and Dad went swimming during a lightning storm.
Continue that.
I thought Aaron was brighter than that. Somehow there was no need to worry about the lightning because Dad's an electrician. On the cruise, he had a blast with our waitstaff. The waitstaff would joke quite a bit. He would join right in the fun. Spending time with Dad was always special. I've been blessed to be an adopted Anderson. I always look forward to random calls or texts from Dad just to catch up. He always seemed to know when you were needing something, or needed to hear his voice, or needed some sort of encouragement. Dad, we love you so much. Kathy Bludall, cousin from Minnesota, writes, our grandma had all of us grandkids' school pictures up in her bedroom. I stayed with her and she prayed for all of us to meet her in heaven by believing that Jesus made a way for us to get to heaven. I remember Steve's dad playing baseball with his sons, but when Ken died very young, Steve's life changed a lot. Even us cousins from Minnesota could see the sadness in Steve when he visited us. But then God brought Candy into his life, and all the fun, joy, and laughter returned. Yes, you, Candy, were a huge blessing to Steve. To you, Eric, and Aaron, you were blessed to have your dad all your growing up years and beyond. You'll still miss him, but you'll never forget him. He loved you, he loved you kids a lot. I have old memories of our visits to Chicago when I was a kid. Lynn and I could never go to Maxwell Street to shop because we always stayed up to watch Steve and his brothers. And when we all had kids, we went to Wisconsin Dells water parks and had great fun. I'll never forget Steve. He will be greatly missed. Nicole and Dan Heaver, I always mispronounce that, I know Nicole. There were no real words and she's from Illinois, she writes, there are no real words that can accurately describe the wave of emotions that went through our household when we learned of Steve's passing. While we were not related through blood, over the past 20 plus years, he has been our Disney dad. Grandfather figure to our children, and always a comforting voice on the other end of the phone. When Erin first moved to New Mexico, we were obviously sad because she was leaving, but also knew that Steve and Candy would probably eventually follow. Lucky for us, we were able to keep them in Illinois for many years after that. Over the years, we've had many shared experiences, ones that people would usually share with their immediate family, and we feel blessed to have shared them with both Steve and Candy. From singing a duet with Erin at my wedding, to watching my children in the pool when we vacationed so we could spend time with Erin and do some kid-free shopping, to trekking to Florida to hang out with Mickey Mouse, to driving through a snowstorm to get to Frankenmuth in Michigan. Frankenmuth, did I do that right? It's fine, he kept saying, in the whiteout conditions, it's fine. To going on the company golf outings, to just a simple trip to Red Lobster, Culver's, or the Creamery where we could just talk. Find out how everyone was doing. Whether simple or extravagant, we always would part with a smile and a hug that you could feel for days. What we will miss most is truly his kind heart and compassion for others. While we are certain we are not the only extras that he claimed as his own, we do know that he made an impact on us as adults, as parents, as a family, which is something that we will cherish forever. Brennan Heber, adopted grandson from Illinois, wrote, one thing I liked about Steve is that he would go on vacation with us. I really liked going to Disney with him. He would always do fun things when we went on vacation. For example, when we went to Frankenmuth Hotel in Michigan, we went swimming, mini golf, and went to an arcade. Another thing he loved is to take us to the Red Lobster and eat Culver's for dessert. I really miss Steve. And I'm, by the way, beginning to pick up on a pattern. Red Lobster, Culver's, those are all good places. Ryland Heater, adopted grandson from Military Road. What I remember about Steve is that he would always shake my hand in a silly way that would shake the whole arm. He liked to go with us to Disney and Red Lobster. We would both eat that's a pretty cool. So those are just some of the reactions, comments, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds of them on Facebook, people who've written their personal remembrances of Steve Anderson, and we wanted to share those with you for people who could not be here tonight. But I'd like to take this opportunity, if there is anybody who'd like to share their personal remembrance of Steve, to come forward, raise your hand, do it from where you wish, if there is anybody. That's always spooky, I know, but we have a professional here. So.
I'm Amanda Guthrie. I know most everyone in this room. I hate that we're here for this reason. But about 11 years ago, 12 years ago now, I adopted Aaron. And because of that, the Anderson adopted me. So I'm the one who adopted Andersons. And I could have been more blessed. And because of them, my kids have a second set of grandparents or third set now. And I cannot tell you how much those babies absolutely love Steve again. But especially Elise.
I want to share a fun story about Elise, since I know Amanda's having trouble. Elise loved Steve. Like, she's what, 3? And Mom and Dad would get up there and walk in the garage, and Elise would immediately run to Steve.
She might bypass Aaron and Candy and just go straight to
Yeah, it was always Steve first. Steve got that hug.
Steve
So,
first, yes.
yeah.
So I've been so blessed to have them with my kids. Have them as well. And yeah, he's Grandpa Disney to death. And he's treated me just like another kid. And I miss him so much. Most amazing thing that wants to come out.
Anyone else care to share a memory?
Aaron, you know I will.
Is it Keith or is it Steve? Which one is it? Okay.
I was blessed enough to join the group 3 years ago. Everybody else welcomed me as the bustle. They needed a bustle. Everybody else did. Steve took a minute to think about it. He said, I like you. Not because you're singing, but because your name is Steve. That's why I think you're pretty cool. That is all.
Eric?
I planned this. I didn't know there was going to be this part, and I'm sitting here thinking, how can I sum what my dad was to me in 100 words or less? And I think the thing that I want to share that Dad taught me was he was a goofy guy, and so many other kids were embarrassed by their parents and would be like, oh man, and I don't know, I don't feel like I ever was, and he kind of inspired me to be my own goofy self. He sang, and that made me want to sing. He acted, and made me want to act. He taught, and that's kind of what my job is I teach people too. So he really inspired me, and I wanted to grow up to be him. That's that. Thanks.
Are there others?
Well, about 11 years ago, came around. She needed somebody because she had to go to work that day to keep an eye on her parents. I really don't know what she thought they were going to do. It was a new town, they didn't know very many. So we are the official Anderson babysitters, my husband and I. And we haven't got to babysit them a lot lately, but we'll sure try to make a chance to do it more often. So, but we would just get together as old people and talk about those young kids, you know, and not understanding what they're up to sometimes. But he's my favorite person to babysit. But Candy's the most second.
you all know how much I'm going to miss him. He was not officially a teacher, but always a teacher. Claudia and Lucy, he taught to use power tools. Me, he taught to use power tools. You know, he took any chance. I love it. The story about the pool is that now I'm the electrician's daughter, so I don't have to worry about lightning either. Just FYI, I'm safe. But he, a lot like our friend Stacy, lived for the story. He never took the same way twice. That was a motto. The motto was, how lost can we get? So let's just go. And in that same spirit, we were in Disney. We had to go pick up Aunt Cindy from church because we took her to the cathedral there. And I had just flown in or something, and we're driving to get Aunt Cindy, and all of a sudden the car goes ding! And I'm in the back seat and I look, I'm like, Dad, is that the gas light that just came on? And he just, without any hesitation, went, huh. If you've been to Disney, there are no gas stations there. Like, this is something to be worried about. But he didn't care. He was there and wanted to go, and we got gas and made it out. So. Yeah, he just would go with a smile and make it a learning experience and make it an adventure. So, that's it.
Anyone? See nobody rushing forward. On behalf of Candy, Eric, Aaron, the extended family in Illinois, and all around the world, those of us who knew and loved Steve Anderson as a friend and his dad, thank you for coming and to celebrate his life. We'd like for you to enjoy some treats. There's all sorts of, I've got my eye on a couple of cookies over there. And water, enjoy the museum. Look around at the hundreds of trees. There's got to be. Seems like they've grown every year. And enjoy Steve, telling Steve stories. Because I think that's what he would want us to do tonight, is celebrate a life well lived. On behalf of the family, we thank you for coming tonight. Stay as long as you wish and eat all those cookies and have fun. And thank you for coming.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thanks, Daryl.